Hello again, everyone. This is Joe Hentges with Beyond the Chart, and in this technical analysis of the stock market video, I'm going to take a look at the market action here for the last week, check in on a couple of key ETFs, and then look at Costco, HP, and Valeant Pharmaceuticals. So stay tuned. All right, we're going to start off here with the Dow first, and the Dow was up 45 points here on Friday, and you can see I'm still maintaining my bearish count where we have intermediate one down, and it'll be clearer on the weekly chart here in a minute. And we've got A, B, C sideways move in a flat. I think this is a sideways moving flat. Now, the move here, which is wave one of intermediate wave three down, let me get my marker out. Okay, so this, again, we talked about this as kind of a sideways move where we had an A, B, C flat, and that now we're working a 1, 2, and a 3 down of intermediate wave 3. That's the way I'm currently got this laid out and counting the scenario. Now, here's the thing. This wave 1 of 3 right in here is reinforcing. The picture on an hourly chart is very clear as to what the picture is, the story that the market's telling. It reinforces the move to the downside. But that scenario will change if we take out this high up here. I'm going to move to an alternate count. The alternate count I've got here is that instead of this being a 1 and an A, B, C of 2, that this was a wave 4 intermediate, that wave 4 happened here instead of here, and that we are actually in the final 5th intermediate wave to the high side, and that we're 1, 2 right now. There is something that reinforces this. We had quite a bit of bearish activity on the put to call ratios, on the equity put to call ratios in this stretch right here, in this little decline, which kind of surprised me. So that's one thing that's kind of reinforcing that. But again, I'm not really moving to an alternate count until this high is taken out. Let's take a look at the Russell 2000. Similar type thing on the S&P 500. Russell 2000, strong pullback in here. A little more bearish, still a 1, 2, 1, 2. And if this picture starts to change, I'll have to decide and reflect, do I change the alternate count here also? This could turn into a large zigzag. I mean, we have 5, 3, 5, and that could turn into a zigzag as a possibility. When you look at the weekly chart, a little bit more of what I'm talking about. But right now, I still feel very, very comfortable in calling the 5th wave up here, intermediate completed up here. Long-term trend line has been broken, on the Russell 2000. And we've broken to the downside here. So I am still maintaining this picture, and we'll just continue to see what the market tells us week by week. The high-low indicator on the New York Stock Exchange, 74 more new highs than new lows on Friday. It continues to be right in the middle of this mess. We're not really breaking to dramatic new highs in here. You can see the activity. Look how high these peaks were, and they were all declining from, as the market got more mature, this just died off and died off and died off. Now, we do have this stretch of the last 2 months that did get to a little higher level than you can see. The level that's been in place for basically the last year until we got here into, what is this, March. The level was right about in here. Now we got to a little more elevated level, which is kind of indicating that this move from the bottom in February has been a little stronger than what we've seen over the last year. Let's take a look at the home builders. The home builders, continues to look like it's breaking to the downside, broke this intermediate trend here. Got support in here just under 28, so we'll continue to watch this scenario too. Does it break and take out this high? Does it break this little trend line and move back up? Right now, get rid of the crosshairs. Right now, we just simply had a pullback to this trend line, and it still looks like it's working its way down, and that's the best take we've got. Let me look at the semiconductors. They've been very strong. The semiconductors, this is stronger. I mean, it's taken out this point, about ready to take out this high here. We're very, very close. Really, you got to sit back and say you could still have some kind of wave 2 going on here. It could be some kind of bigger wave 2. unless it takes out this high up here, because this is the beginning of wave 1, and really an Elliott wave count. Wave 2 can go back to all the way to the beginning of wave 1 and still be a legitimate wave 2 unless it takes out the high, the beginning of wave 1. So right now we'll just continue to watch that. It is definitely acting stronger and looking like it wants to go higher. The financials, a little more like the home builders here on the financial. These are all the weekly charts too. Clearly the financials strong two-legged move here. We got the 10 above the 21, looking like it's trying to track. I mean, look how it's staying above the 10-week moving average and trying to track higher. So the fact that we got the semis and the financials getting stronger in here instead of getting weaker, is a little bit of a flag for the bearish scenario. So, I'm definitely making note of that. All right, let's take a look at, start off with Costco. I'm going to take a look at these 3 stocks that were definitely in the news this last week with their earnings. Take a look at Costco from a long-term perspective. Long-term, I think Costco, this is a weekly chart. I think there's been 5 major moves up in this cycle with Costco. And I think we peaked back up here in December of 2015, just 6 months ago, and look at this big reversal bar on a weekly basis, very, very negative right at the peak. So now what does it look like? It looks like we're in some kind of ABC corrective move back. We could morph into something else, but that's my take. Looks like the start of a zigzag. And then if we zoom in on the daily chart, and we got to sit back and say, okay, if this is a zigzag, a 5-wave A, 3-wave B pullback, then I'm expecting C to be another 5-wave move down. And here is where C would equal A at 100% of A. Okay. What I've done is I measure out here, pull it back to here, and then project out here. And here's 100% of where C equals A, down here around 132. Now, I'll be honest, I'm looking for 5 waves down. This move here is a little funky looking kind of move. So it does make me wonder, it's a pretty dramatic little pullback, does look like a sharp bear market type rally. Makes me wonder, is something else going on? Is this morphing into something else? The C wave could morph into some kind of ending diagonal. It could become like a 3-wave and a 3-wave. It could morph into something else, but I am still looking for a C wave. If this were to continue to push higher, we do have a little bitty gap in here, but not much higher. There is resistance that it seems like it ran into on an intraday basis on Thursday. So again, looking to the downside on this, on Costco. The next one we'll take a look at is Hewlett-Packard. Let's take a look at HP from a long-term perspective on a weekly chart. And you can see big 5-wave move up that peaked in 1999, actually 2000, right at the top in 2000. Ever since 2000, this has been doing nothing but a sideways move. Okay, big complex corrective move. We had one 3-wave, a big zigzag move down here. It looks like what I'm calling a W. And then we had a 3-wave X. Then we had a flat, a 3, 3, 5 flat. And then we had another 3-wave X, okay, in here. This is a very complex corrective. And now we're working the final Z wave. Now, I'm expecting this to be another zigzag, but it doesn't have to be, but that's what I'm expecting it to be. So let me get back to my mouse. Let's zoom in on this just a little bit more. And at this point, it looks like a 5-wave down, a 3-wave back, and therefore I'm looking for another 5-wave down. This could be 1, 2, could be a 3-wave in here. Let's take a look at the daily chart and see if it tells us anything more on this. And we're looking, where is it? It is, there it is. Okay, so so this is the move. Now this is a pretty good move back in here, but we're getting close. It could push a little bit higher up to 14 and close this gap. We had this gap right in here. So we could have, a 1, 3 going on, but I'm just watching. This is pretty clear, a little 5-wave move coming back down and a very clear 3-wave move here. So, 5, 3, and I'm looking for, I just don't think this is long enough. This does look like a 5-wave. I just don't think it's long enough to complete to be the C. So, you know, the scenario's out a little bit. I'm skeptical about how much further this has really got, although I am saying that I think 14 might be it. Let's take a look at the last one, which is Valeant. Valeant on a long-term basis. Okay, what we've got is, it looks like, let's think about 2 cycles. And again, in Elliott wave perspective, 8 waves is a cycle, all right? You have 5 waves up and 3 corrective waves, okay? We had 5 major waves up from 1994, I think that was 94, yeah, April 94, to the peak here in 2001, December 2001. Then we had a 3-wave corrective wave, W, X, Y here. And now we had 5 more waves on an impulse to complete an impulse cycle higher. And it completed that at the high back up here in mid-2015. Okay, let's zoom in on that. And so now what we've done, you can clearly see that it's broken this trend line. It's been in this dramatic corrective mode here, but it looks like a zigzag. So then if it's a zigzag, and we're looking at, you know, an A, B, C, what have we got left in what looks like a C to correct this and have the 3rd wave back? Let's take a look at the daily chart and see what we've got. So again, here's the peak back up here in the, when was this? August 2015. It looks like 5 waves, 3. And now it looks like 1, 2, a dramatic 3. Clearly the one with the gaps in here is strong. It's a 3-wave, a 4th pullback. This point is a little higher than this. And so now I'm expecting a 5th wave. I just don't think this is enough. Now this is a small wave 1. I just don't see the clear 5 waves in here. So I'm thinking that there's still a little bit more. But if you're bullish and thinking that you're trying to call the bottom, you could always, if you're looking for an entry here, you could always say, well, the stop would be right below this low. But right now, I'd have to say, I'm still looking for 5 waves. And as soon as I see 5 waves, I would think you could call the end of this corrective action on Valeant. And it might be a high probability entry point. So anyway, it'd be interesting to keep watching this, watching Valeant here for the end of this corrective move. All right, that's it for this weekend. If you're watching the video anywhere else but my website, head on over to the website, check it out. All right, everyone, have a great weekend.